Hey everybody, back again, and today we are making a hunting knife. Let's get to it. Our blade cut out and cleaned up. It actually has the bevel on there already, and it's got a small bevel on the top edge, which is going to be a false edge. I'm not going to sharpen that up or shine that up. That's just going to be part of the design. Next step is going to be punch the holes in the handle here and heat treat it, because right now it is still pretty much hardened steel. I'm going to turn it into soft steel, punch holes in it, and then turn it into hardened and tempered steel. So let's get that in the forge and get that going. So we've got our blade heat treated, it's just cooling down right now. I've got the tang and the shoulders of the blade in the vise to make sure that everything stays in straight. Since that tang is where I punch those holes, that's going to be the most likely spot for it to warp, is down through here. And this blade right here is perfectly straight, so I don't need to worry about it warping. We did this just a little bit of a closer look at it, got our holes punched, and I actually went ahead and sharpened that edge on there as well. Gave it a nice clean edge. So the next step is going to be making the scales and putting those on. I'll get back to you guys when we have the scales cut out to shape and we're ready to glue up. I actually break the wood scales, but more on that later. This is why eye protection is important. So this is actually the first set of wood scales I made for this knife. I broke 2 sets and I went through this whole process with minus the pins, because I was able to use the pins for all 3 sets. But I ended up deciding on leather. Basically went to glue it up and snapped the scales. And then made another pair, cleaned them up, fitted them up, and went to glue them up, snapped the scales. So I went with something else. So we have our scales and pins all set up. The handle is shaped. So this is going to be a pretty good looking little hunter knife, little camp and field knife. Next step is actually to take the pins out and epoxy it all together, and then hand sand the handle and put a final sharpen on this, and it'll be done. So I'll see you guys back here in a sec once it's all glued up and finished. So as you can tell by the lighting, it is now much later. Funny story, I accidentally cracked the handle scales as I was gluing them up, so I had to clean everything, get everything ready again, and I snapped another set of handle scales. So today's not going my way. I decided to go with leather instead. I've got to glue it up, but I've got everything set up now for
the actual handle itself. I just need to glue all the pieces of leather together. There's 2 pieces on each side, so it'll provide a nice thick sturdy grip that will take forever to come off. So this is going to be a heavy duty field knife by the time it's done. I'm going to go glue it up again and wait for the glue to set, then start working on cleaning up and staining the leather, and then I'll get back to you guys. So as you can see, it is very, very sharp and all finished up. After breaking those 2 sets of handle scales, I was kind of upset, so I decided to switch to leather, something I couldn't snap. Put 2 layers on each side of the tang and glued and pinned it all together and oiled it so that way it's nice and water resistant. That way it doesn't get too slickery. But yeah, we've got a little micro-bowie hunting knife, and this will be going up on the shop once I throw those 2 swords up. They should be going up when the sale is still active, so don't miss out when they go up if you want to get these at 20% off. God bless. Love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next one.